Hello, guys. This is Miss Story, and today I get to be a guest speaker with you all and going over your real versus fake Christmas trees. So, I was talking to Miss Bridges, and she said that you all have your articles in your hands, and so you have been going through, highlighting, doing different things to decide if it is better for us to buy a real tree or a fake tree. So, I know Miss Bridges has been walking you all through this, and so today I wanted to help in that process by going over some actual facts from the articles that could help you with your writing pieces because we know that it's not enough sometimes just to give opinions, that we need to back that up with logical reasons on why it is better to buy a real or fake tree. So, with that being said, we're going to go over your chart with you. As I go over it, I need you to make sure that you get this on your own chart because this will be beneficial for you when you are writing your own response to this article. Okay, so I'm going to present my screen and you should be able to see the chart that I have in front of me. First, we're going to look at comparing the truth about real Christmas trees and fake Christmas trees. So, our very first feature that we want to focus on is how are these trees made or grown? Because we know that that has a big impact on our environment. A real tree, according to our article, you probably have already highlighted that U.S. farmers grow real trees. It takes about 7 full years for a tree to be grown. Now, when you're thinking about that, a real tree is something that has to be farmed, it has to be taken care of, it has to be watered. It is a part of nature. But on the flip side of that, that is income for that farmer. It is something great for our environment because it does produce that oxygen there. Okay. How is a fake tree made? Well, you can guess. And artificial trees, most of them are made in China. So, does that really help our environment here? And it is made with a chemical, polyvinyl chloride. Okay, so just keep that in mind whenever you're looking at the pros and cons. Next up, how far do both trees have to travel before they can be purchased? Well, most of you probably know this. If you have a real tree in your house, real trees come from tree farms, either close or far away. Some of you might have a real tree that came off of the land right behind your house, but some of you might have a real tree that you went and bought at Lowe's or Tractor Supply or out of a tree farm in one of the local nurseries. So real trees do come from the land and they are provided throughout. Where do the fake trees come from? Well, if they're made in China, we have to get them from China. So unfortunately, we don't get to buy local tree if it's fake, but we would have to get those from China. Okay, what are the cost of the trees? Well, real trees can cost from 200 to, or I'm sorry, scratch that. Real trees can cost from $20 to $70. Really, guys, it can even go up on that. You have to buy a new tree every year, so every year you're going to be paying this amount. I know we just purchased a real tree, and it was about $65. But it all depends on the size and the shape of the tree. It also depends on where you're located. Here, we could get a free tree if we went out into the woods. But our Christmas trees, if you buy them locally, aren't going to be as expensive as they would be in other locations in the United States. So if you go to New York, you might be spending well above $200. But if you just look at our article alone, it does say between $20 to $70. Keeping in mind that is a cost that's going to be reoccurring throughout the year. So it's not just like a one-time spend like you would have with a fake tree. So that takes us to our next column. What's the cost of a fake tree? Well, again, depending on the size, when you buy them throughout the year, your fake tree can range from $10 all the way to $250. And honestly, guys, depending on the size of a fake tree, you could even go higher than that. The positives of the fake tree is the fact that it's a one-time deal. So you pay that money and you get to reuse it for years and years and years. Our article said most keep their tree from 7 to 10 years. I bet if you ask your mom and dad, they probably have had theirs longer. Some maybe a little bit shorter amount of time. But a fake tree is something you can have and you have it. You spend that money one time and you have it for a long time. So that is a positive to fake trees is the cost of that. Our last item that we are going to discuss is how does each tree impact the environment? Well, we know that there is a great benefit to having trees around. We know that it absorbs carbon monoxide. Scratch that again. It absorbs carbon dioxide, which is something that we release every time we breathe. And so when it absorbs that, it actually feeds on that and then releases the oxygen that we need to breathe. So if you look at that article, and I'm not mistaken, it does talk about how we need so much oxygen, and that trees provide that. One tree can give an X amount of oxygen that would provide enough oxygen for so many people. So go back and look at your article there because that could even enhance that. But real trees do produce that oxygen. It's very, very important for us. If we didn't have those plants and the trees on this earth, then we would not be able to breathe properly. On the flip side of that, artificial trees do not have as many benefits to the environment. An artificial tree is non biodegradable, which means that it doesn't break apart. If I were to throw a real tree out into the woods or out into the field after Christmas, there's a lot of things we could do with it. Eventually, though, it would decompose, meaning that it would eventually break down. Termites would eat at it, and then it would be no more. You could cut the tree up for like mulch shavings. You could do different things with a real tree. The fake tree, if I were to throw it out the window after Christmas and be done with it, that fake tree is always going to be there. It's not going to break apart. It's not going to decompose. It will always be because it's a plastic material that doesn't decompose. So today we've looked at just a few of the benefits and the cons to a real versus a fake tree. I know you all have your own personal preferences, but remember, when writing, we have to put our own personal preferences aside just so that we can look at the facts. And so you're going to get to talk about what you prefer here in a little bit, but make sure you take into account all of the things that you have read today. I hope that you rock this paper. I can't wait to see what you all decide. Have a good day.